a little while ago. Probably... God, it's probably a year ago at this point. Coming up on it. I was gifted an R1. A 2002 R1. Some people have seen it, some people haven't. Most people that watch this video probably haven't. I never put it on the channel because it was actually before the channel. It was actually technically like what got me into starting the channel. I started posting clips on TikTok, so there's a couple clips on there, and I've probably got some footage on my phone that I'll put in here because it's pretty cool footage. Basically what happened, my buddy went to go buy a used R1, a 2002 R1, and he bought it for $3,000. It was shitty. It had just under 40,000 miles on it, I think. He bought it. It looked janky, but it looked doable. He had just recently wrecked another bike, and it's an MT-09, and it split it in half, so it was unrideable. And I think they weren't quite sure what was going on with it at the moment, so he wanted the R1. So he got this R1. Went and took a look at it. Was good enough to take. He takes it down the road, gets 10 minutes down the road, and eats shit. He said the rear wheel locked up on him. Shit happens, you know. Destroyed the bike a decent amount. It already had a bunch of issues on it, but it definitely took a hit. So what happened is he went to the hospital. And then I got a phone call because I had just recently purchased a truck. Being that guy, they were like, hey, can you come pick up a bike that's on the side of the road? And I was like, what the fuck did you do? He wrecked it. So I was like, sure, I'll come pick it up. So I go pick it up, meet his roommate out there. We're throwing it in the bed of the truck. I've probably got a picture of that somewhere too. Meet up with his roommate, throw it in the bed of the truck. And the nearest house to where they wrecked it was actually another friend's. So we took it to his house, so we weren't driving 45 minutes to the first guy's house. We dropped it off in our buddy's garage. It stayed there for a little while. It was leaking a decent amount of gas, and so his wife ended up, after a few weeks, maybe a few months, started getting mad because it was leaking gas from the tank, and the whole garage was smelling like gasoline, and so she just wasn't a fan of that. So once they got fed up with it, they were trying to get rid of it. The original guy that had it basically like had the second guy just sell it for him, so he could just make whatever, because he was in the hospital, he was pretty banged up. He just wanted to get rid of it at that point. I think they couldn't really sell it, or they just didn't want to deal with it. And I had also just moved into a house with a garage. See where this is going. So, they came to me and they were like, hey, you got room in your garage? Sure. So I took it. At this point, I had interest in bikes, but like I hadn't actually gone through, hadn't done the MSF course, hadn't ever ridden a bike. I'd maybe ridden a bike like one lap around like a neighborhood. So yeah, so leading up to this, I hadn't been on a bike. I hadn't really thought about much like on what I was going to do with it, if I was going to ride it, if I was going to just fix it up. But here it is. I have an R1 in my garage. It was kind of a hassle to get in, but we got it. It leaked oil and coolant and brake fluid all in the bed of the truck. It was the most difficult thing ever to get out of the bed. So we get it in the garage, and so now I've got this R1. So we actually just ended up rebuilding it. I was like, I've always wanted to rebuild an engine. I just like mechanical stuff. I was like, well, it's in here. I don't really have to worry about it because I'm not going to be riding it. It's just a machine that has everything it needs to be a machine. It just doesn't run. I guess I skipped that part. It didn't run. At least I had issues running, and then eventually it didn't run. So then we tear into the engine. it was cool. We went through this whole like process of I mean, I had no tools. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd seen a couple engine builds for Subarus through Smedia. I'd never done anything like it, and I had no reason not to be honest. So we started tearing into it. We stripped it apart. I had parts laid out everywhere. I had like, like I looked like I was parting something out. Like there was just shit everywhere. I had a table with all the delicate stuff. I had under the table was exhaust, radiator, headers, suspension, like literally like everything that wasn't, you know, head, cams, block. I had a tarp on the floor. I had I had timing chains on the floor. I had the clutch out on the floor, spread out. I had owner's manual on the screen, just like going page by page at this point. Taking everything apart. We dropped the engine, had the engine apart. So what happened is I thought that it was going to be like, let's just tear the engine apart and see if we can put it back together. If it runs, great. If it doesn't, don't really care. I just want to get the experience of taking it apart and put it back together. So one thing leads to another. I'm ordering all of the gaskets for it because you have to put it back together. So I'm ordering all the gaskets. I'm ordering different bearings. I'm ordering a new radiator. There was a hole in the radiator, so I end up spending a decent amount of money on this bike. And then we get into the engine, and the head gasket's completely gone. But the block itself looks fine. Obviously, I skipped the because I got it for free, and it's 40,000 miles. And I didn't want to spend too much money on it. I did not go get the heads resurfaced and stuff. But I did. Check all the valves. We took all the valves apart, put those back together. We did check the piston rings. We took the pistons completely out. I've got video somewhere of just like R1 pistons on my garage floor. It's a pretty fucking sick video, if you're into that kind of stuff. What else? We had a crankshaft. How many people can say they've had a fucking crankshaft just on their floor? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people, but it doesn't feel like there's a lot of people, you know? That was fucking cool. It was like, look at my crank, you know? I rebuilt the heads, or the head over 2 or 3 nights, just sitting there, super tedious. I've got 4 different cases of all the the shitty but doable tools from AutoZone, like the different valve tools, and I had to go get, a piston ring tool, and I didn't have any wrenches, so I spent a shitload of money on torque wrenches, different screwdrivers, socket sets, impact. I didn't even have hammers. Had to go buy hammers. It literally forced me to buy my toolkit. It got me to buy all of the tools that I have now, and I'm now able to do stuff like the do on the Subaru and the bike, and it was cool. It was fucking awesome, dude. We literally took it down to bare part. We split the case in half. We took the case half apart, all the pistons laid out. At some point during the process, we'd realized that the cooling system had shmoo in it. So I don't know if we tried googling it. It was from the head gasket failing, from oil and coolant mixing in there, or if it was someone putting just regular water in, garden hose water in the radiator and cooling that good, and then it mixed or whatever. But it was chunky shmoo on the inside, and it actually solidified and was blocking the radiator completely, basically. As we went, turned out every hose was blocked. There was no coolant anywhere. Couldn't find coolant. There was no pockets where coolant may have been hidden. There was just no coolant in the bike, and we hadn't even realized that until we started actually taking it apart. It had been, even after it had been through its wreck, and they gave to the second guy. He was riding it around, and it was smoking. I'm not quite sure why. He never looked to see if there was coolant in it. It was just cooking itself alive. He only rode it for 10-15 minutes, but so yeah, it took a fucking beating. It took a beating, and We took it apart, we got all the coolant stuff apart, we got to the water pump, like we're unclogging the water pump and everything. And even the coolant jackets in the block had like cheese in it. It was nasty. And so like we were basically like, I don't think this is gonna work. I was like, okay, we've got two options. One, we give up because it's probably not gonna run when we try to put it back together. Or two, we just full send it. Like, we rip it down as far as we can go, put it in the backyard. It was like 30-40 degrees out some days while we were doing this. Put it in the backyard and spray the block down with a hose. And that's exactly what we did. We sprayed the shit out of that thing, cleaned it up as best we could. You know, you're sticking a screwdriver in there, like chiseling away at this stuff. Cleaned it out as much as possible, cleaned out the coolant passages on the head. And then put it back together. And it ran, surprisingly. It actually like run like quite quickly. And now that being said, it was the engine stuff. It took a while to actually get it to run, because once we put the engine stuff together, I had to troubleshoot other stuff. That it needed a stator rectifier, a new battery, coil packs. The coil packs were cooked, bro. They were like falling apart. It was crazy. So we got new spark plugs. We got starter relay. I think we did a new starter. Maybe. Can't remember if we did a new starter. It was a whole list of things that we ended up doing. But once we'd done all those different things, the bike just ripped right up. No smoke, just chilled. It was awesome. I wasn't even able to ride it. Like I hadn't had my MSF course. I had no idea how to ride the bike. I understood like the concept, and I no manual obviously, but I'd never actually been on one, so I was not about to get on an R1 and rip it. So ended up selling it back to the second guy for $1,000. Just said, here, like, have it. It runs, it does its thing. It's technically a rebuilt engine by me, but rebuilt. $1,000, and he was like, sure. So he now has a 2002 R1 that was completely rebuilt by me, and Daniel. Daniel, of course, was there throughout the whole thing. And I missed the bike. I never even got to ride. I rode it once around the neighborhood, just to make sure that like it shifted and stuff, and it does. It needs a new clutch basket. You can definitely feel that. But it shifts, it revs high, revs good, sounds good, looks good. Kind of. It's almost like a naked R1 because the fairings are fucked. But it was cool. It's such a neat bike. It sounds great too. I miss it. I kinda wish I had ridden it. But I didn't have experience. I didn't know how to ride it. I didn't know where to ride it, when I should ride it, blah blah blah. It's a good idea. It's good I didn't. It was the right decision to not keep it and not ride it, but I wish I'd ridden it. Just to have the perspective, you know, of the R1. But that, like, I think from now on, that's the beginning of everything, you know, that building that engine, and even if it explodes next week, you know, it's run enough to drive it 50 miles or whatever it's done. It's probably done a little bit more than that, but still, sounds good. The engine sounds healthy, and I think you can't get more confidence than that. So that's why, like, I just kind of went from I don't know how to do anything, don't even have tools, don't even have anywhere to do it, to in like basically the span of 2 weeks, I got a truck that was able to pull it to the garage, put it in the garage, had the R1 in the garage, and said fuck it, let's pull it apart, got overwhelmed, and said fuck it, let's just full send it, do everything we can, purchased all the tools just as we went. Took like I think it took like 2 or 3 months, all in all. And it just worked out. And so now that's what the channel, realistically, that's the main reason of stuff I do on the channel. Bless you. Realistically, that's the main reason I want to do stuff. The main stuff I want to do on the channel is stuff like that. It's rebuilds and, you know, just mechanical stuff. Because it's so much fun. It's satisfying. There's a lot of people out there that don't really know much. And a lot of people go, you know, I'm one of those people that goes on YouTube still, all the time. I'm probably going to forever. Go on YouTube to see how something gets done, and you see those videos of like the guy's like, alright, what you need to do is you need to take this bolt off right here. Right, it's kind of a pain in the dick. It might take you 3.5 days and you need this specialized tool, but you need to get that bolt out. And then the next cut is, right, well, we got the bolt out, and you skip, like, you don't know what tool you needed or how he did it or how long it took him. And so I think that the point of the channel is to, like, we hear noobs, absolute noobs. I've barely done any of it. I want to do all of it, but I want to show, like, the failures, how I did it. You can yell at me in the comments, hey, you should not do it like that. You know, praise me in the comments, maybe, hopefully. But that's why I've started a channel that does stuff like that. Now, granted, I spent a lot of money recently on the Subi. I'm not a rich YouTuber, so it's got to be a while before I get the next project. But you know, in the next few months, when I finally caught up on some financial stuff, I want to go buy another shitbox bike like the R1 that needs, maybe, ideally, I would like to do another just like engine swap, because that's simple but big. So you just get a little bit of, like, you know, just kind of warm up to it. Buy a bike, buy the engine, swap it in, go get it tuned, sell it. You know, make sure it's all good, sell it, go get another one. So it's, I'm not even trying to flip bikes for the money. I'm trying to flip bikes for the content, because it's fun and it's all I want to do. It's just, you need a little bit of money to do it, and I just don't have it right now. So going forward, that's the goal. So hopefully sometime, we're gonna have to do it sometime next year. I will have a new bike that is fucked up and that I have to fix, because I have so much fun. And I'll put all kinds of footage in here so you guys can see the R1, because it's cool. And it's you know, it was my first bike and I never really rode it. I rebuilt an R1 before I knew how to ride a bike, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, guys. I'm gonna try and do the walk off screen thing again, so you guys can listen to some music as you choose the next video.